done a lot of the detailing already, but I want to talk about a couple things before I move on and show you guys a close-up clip on how I do the lines. So I want to talk about shading. Dr. Seuss uses two different colors. He uses a off color for his shading and then a main color. The main colors are the colors that the majority of the piece is going to be in. So think of it like your light and dark areas. Like if my face was the sun and the sun is looking at the piece, the spots that I would see from this angle are going to be the spots that are the main color or the light color. Okay, so the top, the sides, this side specifically, not that one over there, all this top of the front of the drawers that I'm seeing from here over, everything underneath the edge of the bottom of the drawers is going to be a dark color. It's going to be the dark blue or the medium blue instead of the aqua. And then the front of all these pieces, it's all light. Okay, but if I take the drawers out, no knobs on them. They're not the easiest thing to take out yet or grab. Okay, so looking at this, because the drawers were there, all this section here and here is all dark red. Okay, your shaded or your darker color, because it's not, and this side over here, because it's not something that I would see when the drawers were in from the angle I was standing at. So if you need to make a quick drawing, mark it all up on your drawing, or even write directly on these sections, you know, with the actual color, or just put a swatch there of the actual color that you're going to use, so that way you can see and it reminds you as you're painting which one is going to be which color. Okay, second, for the black outlines, I've done a lot of them already. I haven't done the top yet because my piece was upside down. I started them that way. But I wanted to go ahead and tell you I'm using the black licorice in the shabby paints. I'm putting it in a separate container with a little detail brush and some extra water just to make it nice and smooth, because normally I would spray the piece, or I would spray the brush, and because we're using such a small brush in such a small area of surface that I'm painting, it's just going to be easier if I wind up watering it down just a smidgen instead of adding the water to the piece or the brush like with the spray bottle that I normally do. And then it'll just make it glide on a little bit easier. So I'm just getting it to a good texture where it doesn't quite drip off the I don't want it dripping, okay, because if it drips off of your brush, then it's going to drip on your piece when you go to apply it. So you want to be able to have it nice and thick, but not necessarily as thick as it is in the particular jar, or in this jar, because it is massively thick in here. It is like frozen pudding, like I mentioned earlier. I could probably almost turn this, because it's black, it's the thickest shabby paints color. I could almost turn this thing upside down very quickly without it spilling out, because it's so thick. Okay, so now I got a little bit more mixed up of that, and I've talked about the shadings and the different colors. We have a light blue, an aqua, and a medium blue, a bright red, and like a brick red. Oh, instead of using black to mix in with the colors, I originally was planning on using navy with the aqua color, which is like it's So Serene by Shabby Paints. I actually use navy to darken the red, which is Imperial from Folk Art. This is the store-bought one. This is the boutique one. And it gave me kind of like a purpley brick red. And I think I might have mentioned that in the last video, but I just wanted to go over it again. So I use navy, not black, to darken it. Dr. Seuss's shading colors are always slightly off. They're not really like just a darker version of the main one. So I wanted it to reflect that. Couple quick tips on how to do the line work. you want to take your mixed paint that we just discussed, dip your brush in all the way, and then as you bring your brush out, you want to rotate, see my fingers are rotating the brush, just spin it right along the edge of the wall of your container. And that'll give you a nice point tip, but it'll load paint all the way around the brush. Then when you go to paint, you're going to rotate your brush slightly, very slowly as you paint across or around, however you're painting, and it'll take all that paint that you've loaded all around the brush and put it on your thing, and you can paint along your line that way without picking your brush up, okay? So also work up to down on your project and left to right so that you're not dragging your hand on accident through any wet black lines and have it go clear across your piece. So you're gonna just, I'm gonna go left to right. Keep your brush like at a 45-degree angle to the piece, and you're just gonna trace that line. And this is what I was talking about, how it is forgiving because it's going to cover up where those two colors meet. Okay, now I'm gonna just slightly rotate my brush as I come down. And I don't stop it at the exact same spot that I stopped the last line. And then I'm going to reload by dipping it in the paint, spinning it on the wall of the container so I have a nice good load on my brush. And I'm going to just paint the next side, keeping it at a 45-degree angle, slightly spinning it as I go to help add more paint to the piece. Sometimes the curves are a little hard. You can go slowly if you need to.